What's up, everybody? I have not been making videos for a while, mainly because I have been pretty sick. I got sick in June, back in June 17th, and I haven't got better. It started out as COVID, and then I got the flu, and then I uh, ended up with a sinus infection, and I still haven't been able to get rid of it. And for the most part, I don't have like any flu symptoms. Like I don't have the body aches anymore or anything like that, but I do have like a lot of head pressure. My throat is kind of rough still. But I do have like discharge randomly coming out of my nose still. I have a lot of just pain in my sinuses. And the bigger thing though is that I'm still spiking a fever every now and then. And that's been, going on for a better 8 weeks now, and I'm not getting better. I'm going back to the doctors again. So hopefully I'll have this sinus infection behind me soon. Um, but I did want to, make some content and show people, one, yes, I'm still trading. This is a my funded futures account. I am trading some of my other accounts as well. But really kind of just wanted to show this account did really good today. I traded this account only for about an hour. And you can see all the trades here on the screen. Most of them correlate with specifically scalping on the NQ 1 minute chart. It's not me just using the 1 minute chart, but a lot of my trades correlate with, these 9 moving average bounces, and more specifically, these 21 pull, when we're coming back down to this 21 moving average, on this little uptrend this morning. A lot of my trades correlate with that. And so, wanted to kind of just show people, first off that I'm still looking at the bigger picture, right? I'm still looking at the 15 moving average, or not the 15 moving average, the 15-minute chart, right? I'm see that, we formed the bottom off earnings yesterday, and we just started hiking it, and we're going higher. And so a couple things, that I'm thinking, looking at this chart. First off, I'm looking at the London session. I'm like, all right, this morning, I'm like, there are, reasons that we could probably pull back. We might pull back to R1 and continue higher, or VWAP even. But at the same time, we might just pull back to the 830 candle, which is something that I've talked about a lot on this channel. And so if you draw a box on that 5-minute 8:30 a.m. candle, that was this move right here, or this box. And you can see that's exactly where we trade into that 5-minute candle, and then we continue higher. So if you were able to, get trades off that 5-minute box this morning, great. This bigger box here is the 15-minute opening range, top and bottom. So you can see once we drop through the 950 and the 21 moving average here on this little pullback, or this pullback that we had, we found support on the 15-minute opening range, top side. So that was pretty awesome. And then over here is where we found support on VWAP, and a stacked imbalance as well. So there are some great trades today. Relatively kind of an easier day to trade if you're just looking at the market, I think. I can show people, if we go out to the 1 minute, we can see that nice pullback here to that daily VWAP, right? And that daily VWAP correlating with this stacked imbalance right here. No other bullish stacked imbalance throughout this whole period here, right? So when we have a stacked imbalance and that correlates with daily VWAP, take a trade off that 100% of the time. Even if we continue lower, like the initial touch of this will be, a couple $100, if not even $1,000 trade with one contract. And so, and you can put your stop relatively tight on the stacked imbalance that correlated with the daily VWAP. So, that there's that. The other thing that was pretty textbook, pretty awesome to see, was this larger stacked imbalance right here, being touched 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then the third touch is like the one that, ends up, breaking through. But this is like like really textbook of like, part of a stack imbalance gets taken out, we push lower, right? Or part of a stack imbalance gets touched, we push lower. going long here for the second touch is a good trade, right? We touch this stacked and balance. Once we come down here, my thought is that typically, okay, the third time that we go up to touch this, we're probably going through it. If we go up to touch it, that's the thing, right? So just because it touched the stacked and balance twice, right, doesn't mean that we're coming back to it. That's an important thing to remember. So, this is where it's like, okay, this was a big move off of VWAP, had a lot of support here. It ripped through. We are very bullish here. So even if we have this little bit of a pullback, right, where might we find support here, and how can we trade this is something that, this is something that I'm looking at, right? And if we zoom in, I zoom in on a 1 minute chart here to that second touch and that pullback, and I switch over to this. So this is this 1 minute candle right here is that big touch to it, and then the very quote unquote first touch. This here is that second touch and that push back, and we found support on that 21. And because the moving averages are so tight and stuff, right? If you bought this here, my stop honestly would be right under, right there. So my stop would be about 4 or 5 points if you got a good entry, right? 5-point stop for a trade that you think is at least going to come back up to this, and probably if it comes back up, the third touch is going to break through, right? And then I would be targeting the 86 level would be the next point of rejection, I think, after we break through it. So that would have been the next potential level, I think. And so that's what my trade would have looked like. The reason why, though, is because I think if we would have came back through this 50 moving average and started to push down, again, we'd be pushing down for the second time, that we're going to probably come back and retest VWAP. And I don't want to be in a long when we're coming back down to test VWAP. So, there's ways of trading this where it's like, you can find trade setups like that, like that are like, dude, that risk to reward. Let's just say you had a bad entry and it's like 10. You're looking at risking 10 to make, to make 50. So like a 1 to 5 there. If you open up your stop a little bit even. But even then, I mean, you could still get a 2 to 1 if you open up your stop. So trades like that just, don't come, I'll say they don't come very often. I mean, they come every single day. It's kind of just if you can see them or not. And then this is the footprint chart. Not the footprint chart, the Rinko chart. I just have Q Elite. Again, if you follow these signals, right? Yeah, you would have ended up very profitable today, right? I mean, if we go to Wednesday, you can see this is like kind of like the 9:30 open here. So these dots are telling you to add, add to your position. Wait, that's July 24th. Where is today? Today is, yeah, no, yeah, this is the 31st. Okay, this is the right day. Let's go back out to 9:30 open today. Today's the 31st. 9:30 opens all the way right in this section. No, 9:30 opens right here. So this is 9:30 open, right? And we do get this little push down, right? Again, because we've been so bullish, again, I would not be looking at potentially taking any shorts at this level, right? So all these shorts, I'm not looking at those. I'm looking at potentially adding here, or if you wanted to wait for the market to cool off a little bit, right? And adding here, taking scalps off of these levels is really decent, which is pretty much, this is what I did, right? A lot of those scalps correlate with a lot of these dots. Now these dots are waiting for 4 points to turn into the other direction before printing this dot. Versus me, a lot of these trades that I'm taking, I'm looking to take them as close to the 21 moving average as I can, without confirmation of it pushing, because this can happen so quickly. So this is kind of like, here nor there, but it's like, again, we're pushing up, right? Taking any of these signals. This is kind of like the way that I can describe QGrid from QuantView, this indicator right here, is like this spoon feeds in my entries almost. Like if I'm scalping, this literally spoon feeds my entries. And if you guys look at videos that I've done in the past of like how I scalp and like how I scalp an uptrend, right? And I'm waiting for pullbacks to then take longs, right? This makes it pretty textbook. I mean, this makes it like, why are you looking to short while we're in an uptrend? Why not wait for it to have some type of confirmation that potentially we're going lower, right? But this is where it's like not perfect, because it's like, knowing that this first pullback right here is the top of that 15-minute opening range, right? And there's nothing to tell you that on this type of chart, but if you knew this from having your 15-minute or your 5-minute chart open, all of a sudden you're like, okay, even though I'm getting short signals here, I know that there's a good chance we're going to bounce right here, right? And then it's kind of like the same thing when we push down here, right? There's a good chance that we're going to bounce off of VWAP. So if you did take these shorts here, right, why would you try to hold off of a bounce off of VWAP? You'd be I wouldn't do that. These are all things to take into consideration. And this is kind of how I trade. And again, just QGrid's one of those tools that if you use it correctly and you're using with other confluences, I mean, this thing kind of spoon feeds you really decent entries. And if you have good, even just decent risk to reward, if you're looking for 2-to-1s, 3-to-1s, and you're just looking at this, I think you can be profitable, which is kind of crazy. So, take that for what you will. If you want to check out any of my indicators, there's links down below. I'll make sure to update everything in the link tree. And the other thing that I wanted to add is that I do have a code now for Apex called Wiz. So capital W, capital I, capital Z. I just thought it was kind of cool that I have my own code now. So if you want to use that, feel free. I don't know if anybody's used it yet. I don't know if it'll actually tell me if somebody uses it. But yeah, that was kind of cool. Anyways, that's it for this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.